Hi, this is Pastor John. This is now Wednesday morning. It's June 3rd and still 2020. This is the next in our series, American Dystopia. For 8 days now, we've seen some riots across our country and some protests. And although it has not all had to do with one event, because a lot of these rioters are just out to get things for themselves, to be perfectly honest. And we can't say that all these things stem because of this particular incident. But I want to focus on the incident that provoked a release of this tension to begin with. And that is the death of a black man in Minneapolis at the hands of a policeman. And there's no doubt that there is racism in our country. There are bad people out there. In fact, I would say not only is there racism and problems in police departments, there is in churches and the pastor's office. There are places in doctor's office, dentist's office, businesses, restaurants. There are bad apples out there. People who have taken their sin and made a whole philosophy behind that sin and treat people differently and unfairly and unjustly. It's because we are sinners and we live in a sinful society. And this has been something in our history that has happened. After all, the relations we have from one to another started in the whole institution of slavery. And the history of our country, we've had problems with this. It's something that, because of sinful human hearts, will probably never go away completely. The problem is, when people protest, what do we do about it? How do we solve this problem? On the one level, as a pastor, I know that because there are always going to be these bad apples, sinful people, and some people will be sinning in that particular way, you need to reach their hearts with the gospel. On the other hand, we're seeking wisdom. In Proverbs chapter 8, there's a little section on the blessings of wisdom. I wanted to read a few of those verses. All the words of my mouth are righteous. This is wisdom speaking, personification. There is nothing twisted or crooked in them. They are all straight to him who understands, and right to those who find knowledge. Take my instruction instead of silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than jewels, and all that you may desire cannot compare with her. You know, one of the interesting things about wisdom is wisdom seeks what is righteous and good, and it is better because it has knowledge coming from God. In the Bible, wisdom has moral content. It's not just knowledge. It includes what is right and wrong, and it pleases God. One of the things that we're coming across is, what do we do? Well, one of the things that we often do is we just hear all these people talking about it, sometimes with good intentions. But there are very few solutions that are presented. We need to be listening. Listening on the one hand to see if we ourselves have a problem with this kind of thing, if this is a sin thing in our heart, and listen to the scriptures, how it might reveal these things to us. On the other hand, we need to be listening for some concrete ideas or solutions. I ran across one yesterday in an article from some athletes who got together and said one of the problems is that these police unions allow individuals on the police forces to have the best picture scenario painted after an event occurs. And they even gave statistics that showed how many people were fired from police departments, often for cause, and yet a significant portion of them, because of the police unions, were reinstated. It was interesting, some of the solutions that they laid out, and I hope some people pursue that. There are solutions, whether it's in a police department, in a business, in a church, and others, where sometimes we figure we're doing something wrong, and sometimes it may be because a sinful thing in our heart, and a concrete solution is helpful to help solve those things. But what is the bottom line of all of this? We're all sinners. Everyone should be treated rightly and fairly, and we shouldn't be those who treat others differently because of their background or the way they look, or others, because God doesn't treat people differently that way. At the same time, we're looking to be wise. We're looking to find ways to bring people together in the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I hope you are searching not just the pundits talking, not just the talking heads on the news that talk about this endlessly, or not just looking at things because you identify as a particular kind of person in society, a conservative or a political stripe or something like this. I hope at times you're looking for God's wisdom to reveal your own heart and your own ideas of what's going on in our culture and society. Let the scriptures be your guide for true wisdom. In fact, Paul reminds us, Christ is our wisdom.